Just getting ready for another flight of my Dancing Wings 1.9 meter radio controlled Savage Bobber bush plane. Really enjoy flying this plane. Enjoyed it so much that I retrofitted head tracked FPV into this. So you can see the camera moves on 3 axes: pan, tilt and roll. This is a Caddx Walksnail gimbal and camera, and I'm using the Caddx Walksnail Goggles L to get that in-cockpit pilot view. About as scale as you can get, about as realistic as you can get, really immersive flight experience. What makes this even better is having all the telemetry in the view provided by this flight controller, which has all the servos connected to it, a GPS module and the receiver. It has on it running iNav 8.0.1. I've been doing this a while. There's a little bit of configuration to do to set it up, tell it about all the peripherals that are connected to it, and all the flight controls and all of the flight modes that I want to use while I'm flying. Now, the Dancing Wings Savage Bobber kit is relatively straightforward to put together. I'd say it took me 3 or 4 evenings to assemble it, but it comes with really good quality balsa ply constructed wings and fuselage and all the hardware that you need to get it flying, as well as a electronics package power system for you to install into it as well. Okay, taxiing out onto the runway, and I will point out it is a seriously windy day today. The turbulence coming off those trees to the right is obscene, but I'm very keen to fly anyway. Powering up, tail wheel comes up, nose dips and a bit of elevator, and I am up full power obviously until I climb out to a safe height, making the turn, and I'm already up to 145 feet, 185, 200 feet plus. Now the thing I have done this time, and I got some really nice comments on my last video, I have to say it really is enthuses me to see people really interested in what I'm doing with my projects, and head tracked FPV and putting it into different RC airplanes, particularly scale airplanes, is really what I enjoy doing. But this time round, what's different, I've added a bit more telemetry on the screen, but the most significant thing is I've added an airspeed sensor, and you see that in the middle at the top. You've got the real-time airspeed and my maximum airspeed, and of course it's kind of obvious, but GPS ground speed is a lot different to airspeed, and on a windy day like today I really do need to know the airspeed, particularly when I'm landing. Pulling a loop, always good to do that a bit higher than usual. Start off with about 200 feet, gives me plenty of altitude to recover. Now across the top then, so I've got my speed, real-time speed and maximum speed miles per hour. I've got the airspeed in the middle, and then I've got my altitude and my climb or descent rate below that. Go for another loop. Whee! The funny thing is I do not get any type of motion sickness at all, and I know some people do, and some of my friends won't even try this because it really does affect them. Then down the left, 77, 78, 80, that's my throttle setting, so running about 74% power there. Then I've got my G meter. Below that, how many amps am I pulling from the flight battery? How many volts is that reading? and then how many milliamp hours capacity have I pulled from it. Then I've got my flight time, my distance from home, and my distance from home, and the middle number is how far I've actually travelled, which is an interesting thing to look at the end of the flight. So you will see, the airplane is being knocked around seriously. I mean, the gyro stabilization will only do so much, but there I am down there to the right with my spotter. If I'm flying FPV, first person view with goggles, I have to have a spotter standing near or close to me, I would say, you know, so they ensure I'm staying within visual line of sight, and keeping a lookout for other full-size aircraft so I don't interfere with them. They have priority, but they should in theory be above 400, 500 feet. But anyway, this setup, just brilliant. How I can look around at the scenery while I'm flying as if I'm sitting in this radio controlled airplane. I am actually scared of heights, and I don't like full-size flying. Takes a lot to get me on board a full-size airplane. Really prefer not to do it. But this, I don't mind at all. I really enjoy it. Oh, turbulence. Really crazy today. No one else at the flying field today. Only I am crazy enough to fly. But this is how I learnt to fly. In this part of the country, it's always windy. You very rarely get a zero wind day, so I'm quite used to flying in it. Just to share on the right, that top number is the number of satellites that my flight controller can see, so it's varying about 15, 16. That's important. It needs 6 or more so that it knows where it is. I do have a feature where I can flick a switch and return to home. It will take control, it will return to home, which is brilliant should I get into trouble or lose my FPV view. Okay, coming in for landing. Now coming in a bit diagonal because it is a crosswind across the runway. It's coming off the trees, and yeah, and I'm running out of runway. Don't think I'm going to do this, so I'm throttling up and I'm going to go around again. Can't make a good landing out of a poor approach. Ooh. Ooh, 90 degrees to 90 degrees. Climb, climb, climb. Oh, stalled again. Climb. Right. Well, I'm not doing that again. I'm going to try and land across the runway this time. Not something a full-size airplane would do, but I think I can probably do in this with a bit of luck. But I think I really do need to be landing into wind. It's just so strong today. So I don't really want the airspeed to go below 30. And gently, that was a better approach. That was so much easier. Whoo, down in one piece. Excellent. Taxi back, holding in the elevator to keep the tail on the ground. It's funny, see the windsock on the left there, barely moving. All the wind is above the trees, and really pushed me around for the majority of that flight. But certainly made it a lot more fun. We've had a good summer and some nice days of flying, so I'm not complaining. And yeah, thumbs up. Now, what's interesting, looking at the summary here, when I disarm the system, it gives me this really nice summary. So total flight time of just over 8 minutes. Flight distance, nearly 3 miles. Maximum distance from home, 935 feet. Average maximum speed of 69 miles an hour, average speed of 20, maximum altitude 626 feet. I think when I was going into wind, I really was just climbing so rapidly. The minimum volts for the pack 14, and by the cell 3.5, that's the absolute minimum. That's good. Interesting to see the maximum amps, just over 90. And going down, what's interesting, G-force towards the end, really. So maximum G, 5.42 G. So even in this little bush plane, I would have been pulling just over 5 G. So a little bit uncomfortable. 5 times your body weight. Can you imagine that? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I will be back soon for another episode where I'm going to demonstrate more features of this flight controller system that I put in these airplanes, and their ability to take control of the airplane, enabling it to return to home or to loiter, and then later on showing you geozones, which is a system which can ensure that you don't stray into areas that you shouldn't do, and to keep you within a restricted area should you want to set that up. Anyway, more of that in a future video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.